Hey everybody, welcome back to where we go line by line in the Old Testament to discover what this book means, because it is really a lot, and to see if there are nuggets in there for our daily lives, to try to understand why others believe this book is the Word of God, and then why and how all these different interpretations exist. And it is pretty fascinating on our own spiritual journey. So I invite you to just kick back a few minutes, because we take it really slowly, line by line, because there's a lot to digest here. I mean, it really is. And to do it openly and honestly without preconceived notions is, to me, is the best way to do it, the best we can anyway. Previously, this is the part we're in Genesis chapter 31, but in the previous video, one of Jacob's wives, which is also his first cousin, Rachel, she steals her father's gods, and she lies about it to her dad when the dad comes and chases him down. And then Jacob, he clearly doesn't believe Jehovah has his back at all, or he wouldn't have taken off running from and been fearful of his uncle. I mean, he's obviously fearful because he stole all this stuff. And interesting story. I encourage you to watch the previous video. And then as we continue in Genesis chapter 31 verse 36, Jacob is acting dumb. He gets caught by his father-in-law, which is also his uncle, and the uncle chases him down, says somebody's going to die. And he says, what's my transgression? What have I done wrong? Knowing full well what he's done wrong. It's kind of silly, but we've all known people like that. All of a sudden they find themselves in trouble, and then they try to gaslight you and brainwash you into thinking, oh, well, I'm really not bad. I did this, this, and this. But Jacob goes on painting himself as a good guy. And he tells his uncle, father-in-law, I've been with you 20 years. And he goes on to attempting to explain that, what he's done for him and how he's done it. And he's done such a good job. But then he's also been deceived day and night because there have been droughts and frosts, and his sheep have ran off, all these other excuses contradicting. So I've done such a great job, but then also I've had all these other problems. And if all of those other issues are true, then why did Jehovah not help him if he's the chosen one? Or was it necessary for him to suffer for all the, the cowardice, the sexual proclivities, the theft, all these other issues? It doesn't say. It just leaves you guessing. And then Jacob goes on saying that Laban kept changing the rules of his service. And it mentions that during the original relationship, how it started. But, changing it 10 times, as Jacob says, it just doesn't say that. Which is fascinating, because he said, I've spent 7 years as your servant, basically, for Rachel, his first daughter. And then he does another 7 years for Leah, the second daughter, both his first cousins, now wives. And then he does 6 years for the flock, for some flock, not all of his flock. So just digesting how, from Jacob's perspective, how he's trying to paint himself as a good guy so his uncle and father-in-law doesn't kill him or take all of his stuff back, is pretty fascinating. And a lot to digest, and a lot just to contemplate on, because Jacob realized in the future he becomes Israel. It's fascinating. But then Laban has something to say about all that, and we're going to get into that in the next video. But in these explorations of the Bible, we are searching for, at our sanctuary here, where we get together every Sunday at 1:15, for any tools that may be available to us to use in our day-to-day life. And inside of our consciousness that is spraying out of Mother Nature and out of the cosmos through all of these infinite energies that surround us. There are tools we can use. The art of listening, the art of communication, the art of elevating each other, the art of reducing negativity, the art of no censorship, and that we can communicate respectfully with each other to determine what path we need to go on in many different aspects of our lives and communities and nations. That's important. And if those things are important to you, and figuring those things out and building and maintaining relationships with good, trusted people, then I invite you to come out on Sundays at 1:15. And you can find out more about us at themysticsoftexas.com or our other YouTube channel, The Mystics of Texas. So thank you for joining, and we will see you next time.